So the course title for this semester is Business Communication. Business Communication, and you are section 5. And it is fall 2023 session. But it is a special session for the North-South University. It is inter-session. And I'm Mohammad Masum, and I am a professor, and I am working as a dean of the Faculty of Textile Management and Business Studies at Budex at Bangladesh University of Textiles. So it is my workplace, and I am working for the NSC as a part-time faculty or adjunct faculty. And my initial is MDMM, and the office hour is RA 2 to 2:30 and 5:30 to 7:30. That means before beginning of the lecture and after finishing the lecture. So if you have any problem, you can discuss with me. I think that will be more impactful if you communicate, and if you try to learn something from me, I will try to share with you and try to satisfy you. And I recommend you to make an appointment. And WhatsApp number is my personal WhatsApp number. You can use this number for making the appointment, and also email. I usually check the email on regular interval, so this will be available. And my room number is 1154. That means our classroom is 405, and my office room is 1154. I'll be available there. So if you have any issues to discuss, if you have any problem to share, if you have any personal issues, you can share with me there. As a teacher, as a teacher-student relationship, we will try to solve the issues. And I'm like your father, so the problem will be discussed and solved as a father, son, or daughter nature. And the grading system I have already described. Midterm 25%, 20% is for the group report and presentation. Group report ultimately will cover whole syllabus. So I am thinking to design a assignment that will ultimately cover the whole syllabus, and I am working on it. And individual presentation that you are gonna make every 2 students will make presentation on every day at the end of the session, around 5 plus 5 10 minutes, and 10% quiz in our course outline. I have given the options of 3 quizzes. We'll consider 2. That means we'll count the best 2 quizzes for your betterment. And then assignment 5%. Assignment, number of assignments will be many. So I'll give you the assignment, and the assignment reports will be submitted there in the Canvas network. Final exam 30%. This will be held after 10th lecture, and attendance is very important. Please join every class. I recommend you to join every class. Is very important. And the book, ultimately, this book is globally acceptable for the business communication. By Lessiker, Raymond V. Lessiker, Flatley and Range. This is the book ultimately primarily in our student life as the student of Dhaka University Management. So in my student life, this book was very acceptable all over the world, and the teacher who taught us was also an Australian professor. So this book is also acceptable there in Australia. But now, you know that marketing, maybe you have finished a course on marketing. principles of marketing, product diversification. The concept of product diversification is very clear to you. The product has diversified, new product has developed. Same book, Lessiker. That means the writer was Lessiker. His book, Lessiker's business communication, is rewritten. Ultimately, same thing, new edition and new writers, Lenz, Flatley, and Lenz. That means these two writers are there. Only Lessiker's name is connected with the title. Lessiker's business communication. This book is very acceptable, introducible, because new version, the edition of this book is not available. New editions are coming with this title. This book will follow 12th edition, 30th and 40th edition is also available there in the market. And I have the access to 13th edition. So sometimes I will also discuss something from the 13th edition. But in your bookshop, that means NSC bookshop, 12th edition is available. If 13th edition is available right this moment, you can buy the latest edition. There is no problem, because latest edition gives some more insightful discussions. Is better.
Sir, is
And
PDF okay, or we have to buy the book?
You can buy the book, because physically this is, if you can remember that I said that this course is a lifelong learning. Lifelong learning means that every stages of your life, including your career, early career, mid career, late career, you need this book. This book is very base book and lifelong learning. So you can buy a book. It's better to have this book in your bookshelf. So you can buy it, and after finish, we are gonna start with this book. And the number 1 chapter is communication in the workplace. Ultimately, we are going to discuss today about the communication in the workplace, and what are the objectives you will learn, or what are you going to learn after finishing the chapter. Includes explain the importance of communication to you and to your business. What is the importance? Is there any importance of communication? We'll discuss it. Yes, definitely. Communication is very important. If you can communicate properly, you can achieve the goal. There is a direct linkage with the performance of the organization and also the business communication, effective business communication. And describe 3 main forms of business in the organization. So when we are talking about the importance of communication, we are also talking the main forms of business communications in the business world. The main 3 forms of business communications includes: number 1, in a business setting, business, works inside the organization. That means internal operations are doing in business. So number 1, business communication is internal operational communication. Number 2, business organizations are communicate with the outside people. Say for an example, a garments manufacturing company sends the garments to the international middleman, and international middleman sells the goods to the consumers. So we are communicating, garments manufacturer communicating with the buyers. So external communication is there. External operational communication. This is related to the operations of the business. So internal operational communication. Number 2 is external operational. Internal operational communication means that maybe managing director of the company needs to discuss something with the operations manager. Operations manager needs to discuss with the production manager. Production manager needs to discuss with the production officers. So there are many operational issues internally. The members of the organization communicate each other. And the second one is external operational. External operational means business related. External operational means business related communication. Say for an example, garments company is selling goods to the international buyers. So buyers are the external party. We are making communication with them. So this is also one of the main forms of business communications. And the third one is personal communication. When you are working in a company, when you are working in a company, you must need to communicate with the fellow people who are working in the company. Maybe the issue is personal. Have you taken your lunch today? This type of question you are asking to your fellow partners. Are you married? Say for an example, if you have good relations, then you can ask this type of question. You cannot ask this type of question initially with anybody. But if your relationship is very deep, if you have the access to his personal information, then you can ask. So personal communication is also there. Three forms includes: number one is internal operational communication, number two is external operational communication, number three is we'll show you everything. We'll show you, just we are reviewing so that it becomes easier for you to catch that we have already discussed, and that just we are reviewing these issues. The third one is personal communication. These are the three different forms of business communications that is very important, and how to do better communication we'll also discuss during the tutorial course. And then you also learn after finishing the chapter that there are several formal and informal networks in the business world. So we also discuss about the formal and informal network. What is formal network? Formal network means that in an organization, maybe managing director will discuss with the deputy managing director. Deputy managing director will discuss with the general manager. That means a hierarchical relationship. There is a hierarchical relationship. When the communication goes through the hierarchical relationship, this is known as formal communication. And informal communication in today's world, you know that the organization has flattened. Organization has flattened means that organization has flattened means that the layers of the organization has removed. In today's world, it is not important to send the file from managing director to the deputy managing director to the general manager. The managing director can have the access directly to the production manager or marketing manager because of the new dimensions of communication, new technological innovation, internet, 4IR or fourth industrial revolutions. The things have changed. Because of the changes, the network has also changed. Informal communication is taking place. Informal communication means that you are not following the hierarchical relationship. You are directly communicating with the desired person. Maybe marketing related information you need to discuss with the marketing manager. So as a top manager of the company, you will directly call him. So you are not following the hierarchical relationship. Managing director, deputy managing director, general manager, and the marketing manager. If you go through this channel, this is known as the formal channel. And if you skip the channel, you directly go to the marketing manager, communicate with the marketing manager. This is known as the informal communication network. This happens there in the organization today's world because we are facing fourth industrial revolution. In fourth industrial revolutions, everything is changing. Internet of Things or IoT is very popular word in the 4IR, fourth industrial revolution. So Internet of Things, internet has changed everything. The way we are discussing, we are taking the class today is different from the physical presence, isn't it? And this type of classroom was not exists maybe 5 years back or 10 years back. People cannot think of such type of meeting because of internet. Things have changed because of the internet of things. The cloud computing system. So cloud computing system means that your work, what you are doing, is not saved in your local station. It is being saved somewhere else. I have started my career as a banker. As a banker, I saw that it was long back in 2006. maybe in 2006, you were very infant. So during that time, what was the computing nature? The nature was that if you deposited money, what happens if the bank dissolves? Dissolves means for earthquake. If the existence of the bank is no more, what will happen? There will be no problem for your money, because the money that you have deposited in the bank, it has saved in a distant place. Maybe the second, what do you call, cloud computer, the second storage, the second database. The word is not database. There is a specific term where the data is saved. The second storage may be not in Bangladesh. So because of the internet, you are depositing money in the bank. These are being saved in a server. Oh yes, the word is server. These are being saved in Canada. So even if the Bangladesh dissolves because of earthquake, your record will not be deleted. So because of this technological revolutions, things have changed. Things have changed, and informal communication network is playing a good role in today's world. Informal network. And there are a lot of technological revolutions we can discuss later, but for the moment, you will also learn formal and informal networks. You will learn about the factors that affect the types and amount of communicating that a business does. So what are the factors? What do you think? What are the factors that affect the type and amount of business communications? We'll take your response later. Just get the idea. Factors, say for example, the nature of the business. If the business is a service-oriented business, the amount of business communication will be much higher than a manufacturing one, because in a manufacturing, well, few number of people work there. So nature of business tells you the amount of communication that a business needs. Personal relationship. If you have good relationship, for example, those who are in physical setting, I'm talking about the physical setting. If you two people sit together and if you do not have any intimacy, then the amount of communication will be much less than if you have the very good intimacy with your friend, with your classmate. So it also, the types and amount of communication also depends on the relationship. For whether the organization big, number of communications will be big, much more. If the personal relationship is better, the communications will be more. We will also discuss about the other factors that affect the type and amount of business communication that needs, and then we also describe different contexts for each act of business communication. Different context means the social context, economic context, political context. The business communication will be different. Say for example, in today's world, in the running political context, your business communication will be different than the previous scenario, because before talking to anybody, you are thinking that am I talking in neutral point, or am I talking in Amalik's point of view or BNP's point of view? So you have to think about the issues. These are also very important. That is known as the context of business communication, context. And then you will describe the business communication process. Business communication process means that through business communication, data is converted into information. Data means the raw facts, and the information means the useful fact. So through business communication, there are three parties. One party is the, receiver. Another party is the process. There are two parties, and one is process, input, processing, and output. This is also the business communication process. Business communication process. Input is coming from the sender, and these have been processing in receiver's mind, and then the receiver replies. So sender, processing, and receiver, these are three components of business communication process. We will also discuss here in the class, today's classroom. And we also discuss why business communication is a form of problem solving. Don't you think that to solve any problem, business communication is very effective? Communication is very effective. Definitely. The problem may be a opportunity for if you can communicate properly. So for problem solving, for negotiating any issues, the problem solving is very important. Negotiation means that when you are in a conflicting situations, you have to negotiate something. And for negotiation, business communication is very important. You cannot negotiate without any communication. So for problem solving, business communication is very important, and problem solving approach is known as, negotiation. We will also discuss about the negotiation issues, and then we also discuss about the truths about communication. Truths about communication is that you must be very candid. You must have ethics. Ethics is very important. Truths. Your perception and other perceptions is not same. The way you are thinking is not the way somebody else is thinking. So there are some truths you have to accept it, and then understand the importance of adaptation to successful communication. This is very important. This is very important, is that adaptation. So I am only talking and talking. You are listening and listening. So you are adapting with my approach. When your father is calling to you, you are adapting in a different way than your friend is calling. So when your friend is calling, asking the same thing, what are you doing, my friend? Your approach is different. And when your father is calling or mother is calling, what are you doing, my daughter, son? Your approach is different. So you are adapting with the different situations. We are adapting right this moment with online classes. This is very important business communications we are making. So we are adapting with the current environment. These are the issues today we'll discuss here in the classroom. So let's begin with the business communication system. Business communication itself includes what? Business and communication, isn't it? And you are also the student of business school. As a student of business school, you will learn about the business communication. Then can you tell me what is business? Who can tell me? Floor is open for you. What is business? What do you think? Nazia bint Ashraf, are you here? And during online class, it is better to switch on your video. Video is very important because whether you are attentive or not, I can identify. Sometimes what the students do, student after joining, they go to the other jobs, and I'm spending my time, and he is not utilizing his time. So it's better to switch on your camera. It's important. So, Miss Najia.
Sir, can you hear me?
Right, but I cannot, identify yourself. It's better to switch on your, video mode. So, what is business? What do you think? I know the definition is very simple, and you can answer it. However, I am.
Sir, business is buying,
Yes.
selling, and making a profit out of it.
Good, very good. Buying, selling, and making profit. So, what is your video, Mr. Taimun? Buying, selling, and making profit. This is business. This is true. This is true. But when the word business comes to a student of business school, the business ultimately not only mean that it is buying, selling, and making profit. There are many business in this world. They're not making. They're not profitable business. So, what is not profitable business in that case? Who can tell me what is non-profitable business? Again,
So, business, maybe a business which is yet to turn up a profit, which is not maybe profitable yet.
non-profitable business. This is
Yes.
business.
Sir, is it NGOs and other
NGO.
organizations?
It's for the betterment of the
Good.
society.
So, is NGO making any profit?
No, NGOs just helping with their charity.
Good.
Thank
So,
you, sir.
good idea. But the issue is that they're also making profit. Non-profitable business is also making profit. Is also making profit in the manner that the owners or the investors are not taking back the profit. They're not taking back the profit. Rather, the profit is retaining. There is the business, and the organization is helping
The
the
rising
people.
funds from the rich people are also a sort of profits in some cases.
This is donation. Maybe Tony Blair's project is working in Bangladesh. You know, Microsoft founder Bill Gates' project is also running here in Bangladesh. Isn't it? So this is another charity. Charity is different and non-profit.
Isn't the logic behind NGOs are like running the entire organization with the monies of funds, but not making an actual profit from their lives?
Do you think that the Grameen Bank is not earning any profit?
Grameen Bank is definitely earning a lot of profits, but
Profit,
also
then
helping the poor ones, especially
helping
the
the poor
farmers.
ones. So
Yes.
the founder of Grameen Bank and also the founder of social business, Professor Yunus, also Nobel laureate. Professor Yunus has developed a concept. Microcredit was his very brainchild, and he was awarded the Nobel not economics, Nobel Prize. He was awarded Nobel Prize. And his new concept that is spreading all over the world is social business. All over the world is social business. There are many universities in this world. They have already established institute of social business. The idea of social business is that the donors, the way they are donating to this world is that they are only donating, and the donation is directly giving to the poor people, and the poor people are benefited. But there is no institutional support. There is no institutional support. Rather, social business is that the donors will donate the money in an institute, in a business firm. In a business firm, the business will help the poor. The business will do the business, earn money, make profit, and the profit will not be repatriated to the donors or the owners of the company. The owners of the company will not take any benefit from the organization. Rather, the benefits will be reinvested in the business for the social service, for the social service, for the social development, for the corporate social responsibility. This is known as the social business. That is very popular concept all over the world. And non-profitable business, yes, this is true that is North South University is a non-profitable business organization, isn't it? Yes.
Yes,
this
sir.
is a non-profitable business. Don't you think that they're not making any profit? Definitely they are making profit. They have balance sheet, they have income statement. They produce, it shows that huge amount of money they're generating. But the issue is that they're not, the owners are not taking back the money from the company, rather they're keeping the money in the university's fund. The university is expanding. This is known as the non-profitable business. So they are also non-profitable business is also earning profit, but the profit is not being repatriated, but being invested for the social service or development of the organization. So business includes profitable business, non-profitable business, and in today's world, business is also known as sustainable business. Sustainable business means that the business must earn profit. The business must serve the society. The business must, take care of the environment. So there are three pillars of sustainable business. Number one is, socially acceptable. Number two is economically profitable, and number three is environmentally friendly. These are three pillars of sustainable business. Socially acceptable means that business cannot do any illegal activities. Heroin is a very profitable business, but this is not socially acceptable. So this is why it is not business, sustainable business. A company is running its business, but the company cannot make any profit. This is not also sustainable business. To be sustainable, the business must be economically profitable. Now, the number three pillar is environmentally friendly. The business is earning profit. The business is serving society. These are all true, but the business cannot, the business is destroying the environment, emitting carbon dioxide, polluting water, polluting air. So this is not also sustainable business. So to be a sustainable business, as you are the students of business school, many of you will establish new business. So you must take care of these three pillars of business: socially acceptable, environmentally friendly, and economically profitable. These are also being explained in three different ways. Say, for an example, PPP, people, profit, and planet. That is also the reflection of the previous three. People means society, profit means economic, and planet means environment. People, profit, planet. These are also been, the environmental pillar is also explained with 3R: reuse, reduce, and recycle. These are all the components of business. What business is? When we are talking that what business is, we as a student of business school, we are thinking about these issues, because if you ask to the coffee seller in your university campus what is business, he will say that the earning profit is the business. There is no other indicators. But as a student of the business school, you must have the idea, you must have the concepts. We are talking about the business communication, just we are learning what business is, because if you do not know what business is, then communication is not effective. And then business, when the word comes to your mind, what business is, there are other issues. Maybe in a fundamentals of management or other courses, you already finished the issues. Say, for example, the issue of owners, number of owners. The business may be owned by single people. The business may be owned by two people. The business may be owned by more than 100 people. So in that case, how will define business? If the owner is one, what is the name of the business? This is a revision of
sole business.
sole proprietorship. Good. And if the owner is two,
Partnership.
partnership business. And if the owner is 100,
Public
Organization.
public limited company. Good. PLC. Usually we refer to it as PLC. So when the word business comes to your mind, you will refer to different issues. But can you tell me, if the owner is one, Can the business be in different form other than sole proprietorship? Anybody? Or single owner, but the business form is different, not sole proprietorship. Someone?
My name is Faizibah, but I can't change my name now. So
Oh, sorry. So, who can tell me? Mr. Farhan Chaudhary. আপনাদেরকে কিন্তু বলেছি আপনাদের ভিডিও সব অন করে রাখেন as like physical classroom. ভিডিও সবাই অন করে রাখেন, is very important. I'm just talking, but you're not listening is not acceptable. So yes, okay. For the moment, yes, you know it that if the number of owners is only one, there may be different forms. Say, for example, the form is OPC, one-person company. One-person company is that type of company where the owner will form a company under the Companies Act 1994. The owner forms a company under the Companies Act 1994, where the Companies Act says that you have to prepare Memorandum of Association MOA, Articles of Association AOA, as like public limited company. As like public limited company, you have to prepare these documents and then you will submit it to the Register of Joint Stock Companies and Firm, or simply to the RJC or Ministry of Commerce. The Ministry of Commerce, after scrutinizing all of your documents, they will give you a certificate. The name of the certificate is Certificate of Incorporation. After getting the Certificate of Incorporation, you can start the business. This is known as OPC, one-person company. Similarly, the company, the business may be private limited company. In case of private limited company, same process the owners must follow. The process is preparing for, memorandum of association, articles of association, and then submitting for the registration. The government will provide certificate of registration. After getting the registration, you can start the private limited company. In that case, one person cannot start a private limited company. The number of owners must be 2 or 50. That means the owners may range from 2 to 50. 2 to 50. So when you say that it is a business organization, you must think about whether it is sole proprietorship, whether it is a one-person company, or whether it is a private limited company, or whether it is a public limited company. Public limited company, private limited company, one-person company, or all are formed in the similar manner. You have to prepare memorandum of associations, articles of associations, and then you have to submit to the government authority. Government will provide the certificate of incorporation, and then you can start the business. But in case of public limited company, the number of owners ranging from 7 minimum, and there is no maximum. The maximum limit will be stated there in memorandum of association. In the memorandum of association, you will say that the maximum number of owners may be 500 or 5 million. That will be the number of owners for the company. What is the difference with the private limited company and public limited company? What we are talking what is business. What we are talking, what business? Because you will communicate in the business environment. Board of directors, you need to understand what is board of directors. So, whether the board of directors can communicate directly with the HR, human resources department, or the board of directors will communicate with the formal channel. So we are talking about the definition of business. We are just reviewing the definition because this have already been taught in another course. Why we are reviewing? Because this is relevant to the business communication. Business communication we are learning. So what is the difference between public limited company and private limited company? Number one difference is that in a private limited company, the Number of owners are 2 to 50, but in public limited company, the numbers of owners are ranging from 7 to unlimited. Unlimited doesn't mean infinity. It means that the number of maximum owners will be written there in the memorandum of association that you will prepare. But what is the other difference between private limited company and a public limited company? আপনাদের কিন্তু এখনো ভিডিও সুইচ গুলি অন করা না, এগুলি সুইচ গুলি অন করে দিলে is very important. So
My camera is not working.
so what are the other difference? The other difference includes number one. After getting the certificate of incorporation, private limited company can start the business. Public limited company cannot start the business. Because why public limited company is formed and why private limited company is not formed? In case of private limited company, if you the owners have the sufficient amount of capital, say for example, there are 20 owners or 25 owners or 30 owners are interested to start a business, and they have the sufficient amount of capital. 20 people will give 1 lakh, and the total requirement for the business is 20 lakh. So after submitting the documents and also depositing the money in the banks, the business can start. Private limited company. But in case of public limited company, fund scarcity is there. Fund scarcity means that the owners have not sufficient amount of fund. When the owners will not have sufficient amount of fund, the promoters, 7 people or 10 people or 20 people or 50 people or 70 people will think of a business that is very good business, but this 70 people has not sufficient fund to start the business. That's why after getting the registration as like private limited company, they will sell the shares of the company to the general people, public limited company. So the people who are not known to the company, they will sell the shares of the company to the general people. General people will deposit fund, buy the shares of the company, and will be the owners of the company. Owners of the company is known as the shareholders. So the shareholders will ultimately buy the shares of the company, and then after receiving the sufficient amount of fund, maybe you 7 people are interested to start a cloud based business or SpaceX. You are going to start a new tourism business, and what you will do, you will send the people, tourists from Bangladesh to the moon or a space station. That is the initiative of Mr. Musk, Elon Musk. His new company is a tourism company, SpaceX. He will send the people from world to out of the world. World means earth, from out of the earth, space station or moon or somewhere else. So you can start this type of business, but you do not have sufficient fund. To raise the fund, you will sell the shares of your company to the general people. And the process of selling is known as IPO, initial public offering. So you are selling the shares to the public. It is known as initial public offering or IPO. And after getting the money, you will again apply to the government, Ministry of Commerce, that yes, we have got the sufficient amount of fund. Now we want to start the business. In that case, after getting the certificate is known as certificate of commencement of business. The certificate, name of the certificate is certificate of commencement of business. And after getting the certificate of commencement of business, you can start the business. This is the difference between public limited company and private limited company. All right. Do you need any clarification to understand what business is? So when the word coming to your mind, what business is, a lot of things are coming to your brain, because you're the student of business, you're not the coffee seller. Coffee seller will simply say that the profit earning is the business. It's not that. So business. And then what is the difference between public limited and private limited company and a partnership? The difference between partnership and private limited company is that you have to prepare memorandum of association, articles of association. You have to apply to the government for a registration certificate, and then you can start the private limited company. But for a partnership business, you and your friend together agree each other and can start the business. You do not need any registration certificate for the government. And similarly, what is the difference between private one-person company and a sole proprietorship? You can start a sole proprietorship anytime, but you cannot start the one-person company alone. You have to register to the government, and then you can start. After getting the certificate of incorporation, you can start the one-person company. But you're thinking that why I need one-person company? Why I am taking the hassle other than starting a sole proprietorship? Why I'll take extra hassle to get the certificate of incorporation? The issue is that the liability is number one issue. Liability for a sole proprietorship is unlimited, and liability for a one-person company is limited. Liability of a sole proprietorship is unlimited means that, say for an example, you have started a business with $5,000 and you have taken loan $10,000. So your capital is 5,000 and you have taken loan 10,000. But after 2 or 3 years, you fail to continue the business has fallen, dissolved. So in that case, you are liable for all the $15,000. You are liable for all the $15,000. You have to sell your personal assets. You have to sell your home. You have to sell your wife's asset, husband's asset, to settle down the bank liability of $10,000. But for a OPC, one-person company, your liability is limited up to the capital supply. Maybe you have started the same business as OPC, one-person company, with $5,000. And sole proprietorship was also started with $5,000. Now, the same business you have started with OPC, one-person company, $5,000. You have taken bank loan, $20,000. After 2 years of operations, the business has dissolved. You fail to manage the business. Business has collapsed. In that case, your liability will be limited to 5,000. You do not need to sell the personal properties, your wife's property, your husband's property, father's property, to settle down the bank liability of 20,000, because your liability was limited to 5,000. That is the benefit of one-person company. So when you're thinking to start a business, you have to think whether your liability is limited or unlimited. Sole proprietorship and partnership. In case of partnership, the liability is also unlimited. So as the lecture is being recorded, these are the issues I'm going very speedily, because these are not the issues. We are just reviewing to understand what business is. Have you got what business is? So business means, when as a student of business school, the issue comes to your mind, what business is, the issue issue of owners are coming, whether it is limited or unlimited is coming, whether it is sustainable business or non-unsustainable business coming, whether you are serving the society or not, whether you are harming the environment or not. These issues are coming to your mind when you are defining business. This is all about what business is. Now the word communication comes. Board of directors. So what is board of directors? What do you mean by board of directors? Again, business. Board of directors means, say for an example, for a public limited company, the number of owners of a public limited company is 5,000. What will happen if the 5,000 people is interested to manage the business? 5,000 people are going to manage a business, one managing director and six departments. What will happen? There will be a disastrous condition. 5,000 owners are managing a business. There will be a disastrous condition because all are owners. That's why in a public limited company and also in a private limited company where the number of owners are many, they form a board of directors. The board of directors are formed according to the act. In our country, it is known as Companies Act 1994. According to Companies Act 1994, you will form a public limited company and also a board of directors. All the 5,000 owners will elect 9 directors. The 9 directors will ultimately known
Sir,
as
is
the board
9
of
the
directors.
maximum number of directors?
Maximum.
Possibly.
I have 9. 9 is the maximum.
Maximum. Okay.
Right. So maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually in public limited company, 9 directors. So this 9 directors will be responsible to manage the total business. And in private limited company, the board may be small because 2 people can also start a private limited company. So two people can be the member of the board. 2 people can be the member of the board. And then this board of directors are the top managing body of a company. If it is sole proprietorship, is there any board of directors?
No.
No, because only one owner. So the owner is known as the proprietor. The owner is known as proprietor. And in case of partnership business, is there any board of directors?
No, I
No,
guess.
sir.
So in that case, the partners, the owners of the partnership business is known as partners. The partners will be responsible for managing the business. And managing director, who is a managing director? Managing director means the top manager. The managing director, also known as CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Top manager or CEO, Chief Executive.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, can MD be one of the directors?
Okay, very, very good question and very important for all the students to know. Thanks for your question. Managing
Welcome,
director,
sir.
can a managing director be the director of a company? Managing director is a manager. He is not the owner. All right. He is not the owner. He is the top chief manager, CEO, chief executive officer of a company. But the managing director, when the CEO, chief executive officer of a company is when the CEO of a public limited company, sorry, public limited company has their boards, isn't it? Board of directors. Private limited company has their boards, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, board means the board of owners. So all the top decisions will be come from the board of directors. The decisions will be taken in the board. But who will transmit the decisions of the board? The top manager, CEO by default. CEO by default of a private limited company and public limited company is a member of the board of directors. That's why his title is managing director. But in a partnership business or in a sole proprietorship business, can there be a managing director? The answer is no, because there is no board. To be the managing director position, there must have a board. Why? Because the top manager, CEO will be a member of the board to write all the decisions of the board of directors and transmit the decisions of the board of directors to the other managers of the company. That's why managing director position is not available for sole proprietorship business, partnership business, because there is no board. Managing director position is only applicable for the public limited company, private limited company. And CEO may be for a sole proprietorship, CEO may be for a partnership, CEO may be for a private and public limited company. That's why sometimes you will find that CEO and managing director. The word, say for an example, Eastern Bank managing director. He is known as the CEO and MD. CEO and MD means he is the top manager of the company. At the same time, he is also a member of the board. That's why CEO and managing director. If you check the website of any bank, they use the word CEO and managing director. CEO means he is the top manager of the company, and managing director means that the company has a board and he is by default a member of the company. He is by default a member of the board of the company, BOD, board of directors. Have you got the answer? Is it clear?
Bit complicated. Maybe it will need some time.
It's not clear.
Not exactly.
Okay. So once again, board of directors, which type of companies has board of directors? Public limited company.
Public.
For the moment.
limited.
For the moment, public limited company. Bank in our country, bank is formed as a public limited company. There is no other type of company because in Bangladesh, Bank Companies Act is a separate act. Bank Companies Act 1991. To form a bank in Bangladesh, they must form according to Bank Companies Act. And Bank Companies Act 1990 say that only bank can be public limited company. Private limited company, there is no bank in Bangladesh. Which one is private limited company? It must be a public limited company. So as bank is a public limited company, they have a board of directors. They have board of directors. And CEO, forget about the managing director. CEO is the top manager. CEO is the top manager, isn't it? So the companies which have board, that means all public companies have board. The companies which have board, the top manager, CEO of the company, by default a member of the board of directors. By default a member of the board of directors. That's why they use the word director. Why they use the word director? Because he is a member of the board of directors by default, as not as an owner, as a top manager, CEO of the company. As a CEO of the company, the CEO is a member of the board to write down the decisions of the board of directors and implement the decisions in the company. Because board of directors directly not involved to manage the different departments. CEO is responsible. So CEO is a by default a member of the board of directors who ultimately transmit the decisions taken there in the board of directors to the company. That's why the CEO is known as managing director of a public limited company. CEO is known as managing director of a public limited company. CEO of a partnership is not known as the managing director. Why? Mr. Rizwan. So why CEO of a sole proprietorship business is not a managing director? Why CEO of a sole proprietorship business is not the managing director? Can you tell me?
So because there is one owner.
One owner and there is no board.
No
No
board.
board of directors.
No board of directors. As there is no board of directors, he cannot be the member of the board.
Sir, another question.
Yes.
Is board of directors possible for private limited companies?
Yes. Private limited company, there is a board. There is a board, but the number of owners may be 2. So if there is 2 owners, 2 members of the board of directors, but there are some changes in the companies I can introduce all that independent directors because the
Sir, for public limited companies, the board of directors could be up to 9 members.
9.
From how many members to 9 members?
There is no
Which is the
limit to the
limit?
owners.
No limitation. Okay.
So maybe 5 million owners. So 5 million owners will elect the
Not
board
about
of
the owners, talking about the board of directors.
board of directors. 5 million owners will elect. 5 million owners will elect the directors, and the elected directors are known as board of directors and chairman of a company. The board of directors will choose one of the directors as the chair of the company. He is known as the chairman of the company.
Sir, as you said, the managing director of a public limited company can also be the CEO of the company.
He is a CEO, must be CEO.
Is it same for private limited company? The CEO
same.
can be the MD?
Yes, private limited company, he is MD, also MD.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Because there is a board. He is a member of the board by default. And the directors can also be the managing director. Because in banking companies, it is prohibited. In banks, the owners cannot be the manager. In Bank Companies Act 1991 says that the owners cannot be the manager. But Companies Act 1994 says that the directors, that means owners, can be the chief manager if that guy has sufficient experience. Am I clear? In a
Yes, sir.
private, in a bank, in banking business, the owners cannot be the managers. But other than banks, other companies can have the options to be the managing director. So business is clear, I think. So board of directors will transmit the information to the managing director. Ultimately, managing director will collect the information or the decision taken there in the board of directors and will implement in the business. Implement in the business. This is the typical organogram of a business. This is the typical organogram of a business. The organogram may be different. For a sole proprietorship, the board of directors will be replaced with proprietor. Managing director will be replaced with CEO or manager. For partnership business, the board of directors will be replaced with partners, and the managing director will be replaced with CEO or managing partner. CEO or managing partner. And for a private limited
I missed the part. Where will be when will be the changes? In which case?
for sole proprietorship,
Sole proprietorship.
there is no board of directors. The top position will be the proprietor, owner or proprietor. PROPRIETOR, proprietor. In partnership business, partner or partners are the owners. But in a public limited company, private limited company, board of directors. And managing director for a sole proprietorship business, the concept managing director is not applicable. CEO, maybe CEO. Chief Executive Officer, it's all right. Because he is not there is no board. He cannot be the managing director.
Yes.
For a partnership business, if the one of the partner is a manager, then managing partner. And if the manager is not the partner, then CEO is okay. CEO and managing partner, the word can be used. CEO and managing partner, because CEO means top manager of the company. CEO
Sir,
means
another question. If the solo proprietorship business is owned by a single person, can he hire other people as a CEO or a chairman?
yes. Chairman is not possible. Chairman is applicable for the board of directors.
Oh,
Chairman means chairman, chair of the board. Chairman is not possible. All right.
okay.
So just we are getting the idea of what business is. Now move to communication, business communication. So what's the time? It is around 4. So will we continue 2.5 hours together, or we'll take a break of a few minutes? What do you think? So now come to the communication. Business is clear. What business is clear? Now what is communication? So when the word business communication comes, you must have the idea what business is, because you will ultimately communicate with the people. You must know whether the word managing director is applicable for a sole proprietorship or not. It's clear, I think, for the moment. And if you do not get the points, we can discuss together later. Number 1. Number 2, the records. The recording of today's lecture I will also upload there. You can also, review the lecture later. And what is communication? This is very, 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 very clear to you. Communication means transmitting information from one person to another person, usually called sender to receiver. And again, receiver can be sender, because when the reply will come from the receiver, he will be the sender. So communication refers to the transmission of information from a sender to a receiver via a medium, given medium, maybe over phone and phone network, mobile phone network. Maybe you are communicating through a letter. It is letter form. Maybe you are communicating through email. This medium, I'm talking about the given medium. The given medium may be mobile network, maybe email, maybe letter, written letter. So there are lots of medium. We will discuss about the medium later, which form you will choose to transmit the information. And once again, it is lifelong learning. So we'll learn many different medium that will be applicable for whole life. Two-way communication involves some kind of feedback from the receiver back to the sender. What I'm talking, that means when you are sending to the receiver, if the receiver again sends the answer to your question or some queries, the receiver will be the sender. That it says that two-way communication involves some kind of feedback from the receiver back to the sender. So communication ultimately means transmission of information. How efficiently you can transmit the information, the more effective communication will be there. And when you are transmitting the information, you have to have the features, 7 C's. Usually in communication, we use the 7 C's when you are transmitting any information from the sender to the receiver. What are the 7 C's? Number 1 is consideration. Conse, have you finished a course on business law, legal environment of business? Anybody have you
Yes,
finished
sir.
legal environment of business? Can you tell me what is consideration in that setting? What is consideration? Okay, consideration means that in business communication, in legal language, consideration means that one party will offer and another party will accept, isn't it? What the party will offer and what the party will accept, it is known as consideration. In business communication, the same principle applies. You have the consideration. Without consideration, only talking and discussing is not the communication. It is the informal communication, is not the business communication. In business communication, you must have an objective, and the objective is consideration. Are you gonna selling your product? So the product is the consideration. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. It's mainly offer and acceptance, I guess.
Offer and accept. What you are offering and what he is accepting
Yes,
is
sir.
known as consideration. So
Sir, is it
consider,
negotiation also a part of consideration?
yes, negotiation is a part of business communication. We are coming. We will also discuss about negotiation, and we will discuss negotiation from the problem solving aspect of business communication. We are coming to discuss negotiation from the problem solving aspect. So in consideration, consideration means that I am going to sell my shirt. The shirt is the consideration. So without consideration, there is no business communication, maybe personal communication. Hey, how are you today? This type of words are there. This is not the business communication. This is personal communication. And in business communication, there must have clarity. Clarity means it must be clear. Clear means that are you gonna sell the shirt? So you have to make clear that yes, this is the shirt, and these are the features of the shirt. In your communication, the communication must be clear to the other party. Otherwise, you will not receive the right answer or feedback. Conciseness. Conciseness means that you will present your issue in a brief manner. Brief manner. It is known as conciseness. Conciseness. And then coherence. Coherence means that when you will talk something, you must talk the next letter in relation with the previous sentence. That is known as the coherence. Coherence means that, say for an example, the profit of the business is $200,000. The company owner has died. What is the relationship between these two sentences? Is there any coherence? There is no coherence. So in business communication, there must have coherence. Say for an example, you say that the profit of the business is $200,000 and the tax is 70% on profit. So there is relationship. It is known as coherence in business communication. So when you are communicating, there must have coherence or relationship with your previous statement on the next one. That is known as coherence. And then correctness. Can you supply any misinformation? You cannot supply. Correct information. Correct, what you are sending must be correct to your knowledge. That is known as correctness. And confidence, also you have the confidence what you are transmitting. If you do not have any clarity what you are transferring, you should not communicate with somebody. You must have confidence. You are facing an interview. This is also communication, business communication. But you do not have the certificate, graduate certificate. But you said that I have the certificate. In your application, you have written that I have already completed my graduation, but when you are facing the interview, cannot show or you fail to show the certificate. So it means that you are lacking confidence. You have the confidence. And then courtesy. Courtesy is very important. Courtesy means what? Courtesy means how well you can behave with the people. And the course we are learning today is all about courtesy development. All about courtesy development. How will write a letter? Will you begin with dear sir, or you will begin with some word that is not acceptable to the receiver? You must think of. Courtesy means that you will behave with the people in a acceptable manner. That is known as courtesy. When you will end the letter, you will say that I'm happy to write a letter to you. So it is courtesy. When you are complimentary close, so sincerely yours is courtesy. So courtesy is very important business communication. When you are writing a letter, you should show the courtesy. When you are calling to somebody, you must have some courtesy. Courtesy is very important, and you must be courteous. After doing this course, you will be more courteous, and your soft skills will improve. What is soft skills?
Behavioral appearances in a human being.
Soft skill. Soft skill means that your development, internal development. It is not computer skill. Your internal development, how well you can behave with the people, that is soft skill. So education builds the soft skill. Organizational behavior course develops soft skills to deal with the organization. Maybe you have finished a course on organizational behavior. So this is all about the soft skills. Soft skill means your inner development, inside development, how well you can communicate, how well you can behave, how efficiently you can talk with each other. That is known as the soft skill. Soft skill usually develops through education. So without education, usually people do not have the soft skills, soft skills. Now the importance of communication. Is there any importance? Yes, it is very important. If you cannot communicate with somebody, maybe you are going to sell a shirt. So without communication, can you sell the shirt? Now it comes to the point that communication, yes, people are doing communication, but your communication will be different. It should be very concise, clear, correct. The way you are communicating must have considerations. So the importance of business communication is huge. You are going to learn about the writing letter, how to write a letter, how you will write your resume, how you will face interview. You are learning through business communication course. So business communication is very important. Internal communication, you need to have the knowledge on business communication to do effective internal operational communication, internal external operational communication. So importance of business communication is huge. And finally, the importance of business communication is related with the performance of the business. Evidence of the importance of communication in business all found that numerous surveys of executives, recruiters, academicians, surveys found that communication, especially written communication, especially our course will ultimately include 70% written communication. 70% is written communication, 30% is oral. So ultimately, this course will teach you how to write letter, how to write email, how to write CV, how to write report, business report, how to prepare influential business reports. What is the formal system of writing business report? So written communication is very important, that the executives and the recruiters are agree each other. Ranks at or near the top of the business skills needed for success. So it is the top skill, top business skill, communication skill, effective communication skill is the top of the agenda. And information is managed, exchanged through the different medium, maybe oral, maybe written, maybe electronic forms in today's world, isn't it? And importance of effective communication, the organization, meaningful and impactful information on knowledge sharing. When you are going to share your knowledge, you must have business communication in the organization. Maybe the decisions of the board, are you getting the point? The decisions of the board you are transmitting from your desk to the other departments. So you are sharing knowledge. Knowledge sharing is very important in the organizational setup, and without communication, you cannot share the knowledge. The same as today's lecture. I'm delivering the lecture, I'm sharing the knowledge. It means that without communication, it was impossible. Impossible. Increase managerial and work efficiency. If you communicate properly, it increases managerial and work efficiency. This is true. This is true in the sense that if the workers of the company do not know what is the objective of the company, can the worker do their job properly? If the marketing manager do not know what is the objective of the company, can the marketing manager do his work properly? HR manager do not know about the objective of the company, can the HR manager select the right person for the right position? So it increases the proper communication, increases managerial and work efficiency. And better reputation when you are writing a letter. When you are writing a letter to the other people, to other organization, it reflects that how courteous you are, how good you are writing the letter. So your reputation lies there in the letter. And if the letter is a lot of spelling mistakes are there, what will happen? This letter will hamper your reputation. Effective leadership. If you are very clear, you are good leader. If you are not clear to the subordinates, you are not a good leader. So communication, effective communication is very important for good leadership. And enhance good communication increases moral and relationship. This is true. Without communication, you cannot develop relationship. Without lecturing here today, can I make any relationship with you? No. So, sorry, with me, or are you communicating with me or somebody else? Maybe not with me. So increase trust and confidence. Yes, if you have good relation, if you communicate properly with your employees, the employees will be trusted. The employees will have confidence, and good communication also makes everything clear, reduces ambiguity, and this helps to make better decision in the organization. Yes, this is true. And these are the top most important skills that research suggests that communication is #1 skill for the successful operations of a business. 57% owners, managers, executives believe that this skill is very important. Communication skill. This is the research result. And organizational skill, that means knowing about the organization, teamwork. This is also very important. Analytical, always punctual. That means you will join in the classroom on time. This is very important. Critical thinking. That means when you are thinking something, you are linking all the issues so that your decision is right. It is known as critical thinking. Social skills, creativity, all are important, but the top most important skill is communication. So you have to know how to write a letter. You have to know how to, say for example, somebody has referred me a CV, resume for a job. But after reading the CV, I found there are a lot of mistakes in CV. So I failed to forward it to the employer. And this is true. This is true. And I failed to forward the letter to the employer, prospective employers, because I found there are a lot of problems in the CV. So I cannot share the CV with the employer because employer believes me, believes my reputation. So you will learn through communication. There are how to write a resume, how to write a letter, how to face interview, how to write a report. There are a lot of issues. Communication skill is #1 skill in the business setting. And there are different forms of business communication. Number is internal, then #2 is external, and #3 is personal communication. So would you like to have a break, or we'll continue up to 4:30? What do you think?
So we need a break.
You need a break? In that
Yes, sir.
case, when we'll join 4:30, we'll come back. All
Okay,
right?
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, we'll start from here for the moment. Recording is so. Okay, thanks for joining. Welcome back. And we are going to discuss about the introduction to business communication. Okay, so forms of business communication, we are gonna discuss forms of business communication. What is forms of business communication? What do you mean by forms?
Different types of approach to talk in business.
Here, forms of business means internal operational form, external operational form, and personal communication. Internal operational means that, say, for example, if it is a textile company, can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We
Okay.
can have it.
So if it is a textile company, what is the internal operations? Can you tell me? The internal operation is converting fabric into shirt, isn't it?
Yes,
It
sir.
is. So it is internal operation. So when the fabric is converted into shirt, marketing department is there to sell the shirt. So communicating with the marketing department is internal communication. Production department responsible for manufacturing the defect-free shirt of internal operations. Accounting department who supports the financial operations, internal operations. Then um, uh, accounting market HR department is supporting the human resources in the organization, internal operations. So internal operations means the operations within the organization. And when you are communicating with each other, there are a lot of issues you have to share with. You have to give orders to other department. HR marketing department will give requisition to the HR department for new human resources. Production department will give requisition to the procurement department to procure raw materials, etc. So a lot of internal operational issues, isn't it? A lot of internal operational issues. So communications are there in the internal operations. We will know how to write a letter. Usually the letter in the internal form is known as a memo. One word maybe is new to you. Memorandum. Memorandum means the letter that is used for internal communication. So we are going to learn about the different ways of communicating internally. Internal operational communications is one form. Number two is external operational form. So marketing company is selling shirt to the international buyers. So the marketing department needs to communicate with the international buyers. How the letter will be written? The letter is usually external operational issue. There are a lot of external operational issues. Say, for example, personal selling is external operational, not internal. Telephoning, then advertising, writing messages. These are all the external operational. That means the communications you are making with the other parties other than the organization is external operations. And personal communication is the most important. Without personal communication, there is no organization in the world. Is there any? There's no organization in this world. So when you are working and you two, say for an example, you are the students of NSU, and when you sit together in the classroom, you discuss many different issues other than the internal operations. Internal operations means hearing the lecture, writing the notes, etc., etc. The internal operations. External operations means when you are communicating with the other departments for any purposes, or you're communicating with the library for learning something. So you are also making a personal relationship. Relationship. This personal communication is also very important in the business world. Personal relationship is also very important in the communicate. So internal operations, the communicating done in conducting work within a business, such as giving orders, assembly reports, and writing mail. External operational issues or forms of business communication includes work-related communication with people. So work-related. Do not think that it is also personal communication. Work-related. You are selling shirt, not you are calling your friend, you are calling your wife or something else or somebody else. It is not the external operational. It must be operational. That means work related. Operational means work related. Work related communication with people outside the business, such as personal selling, telephoning, advertising, and writing SMS. Every external message conveys an image of the company. This is very important. So when you are writing a letter, are you courteous? Are you writing the truth? Are you conveying the right message? Are you writing the letter in error-free mode? There are a lot of issues that ultimately relates with the image of the company. This is true. It relates with the image of the company. And then personal communication, non-business related exchanges of information between you and your colleagues, non-business related exchanges of information and feelings among people. This is also communication. Personal communication affects employee attitudes, and employee attitudes affect employee performance. How does it happen? Say for an example, you are with good suited booted. So your colleague who is in shabby mood will also be suited booted from the next day. This is the way you are changing the dress up of your colleagues. The way you are talking is very important. Your next people, that means your colleague, will also try to follow your good behaviors. Editors. So the editor, if you say good morning, he will also accustomed to your editors. So personal communication affects employee editors. Usually corporate culture. The corporate culture, maximum corporate culture is learned from the personal communication. And this personal communication increases confidence, good relationship. And this good relationship, good attitudes affect the employee performance. This is scientifically proof that if you have good relationship with your colleague, you can work together. Teamwork is there. And if you can work in a team, the performance of the company will increase. And you know that management grew, Deming, Edward Deming. Have you heard the word, heard the name Edward Deming? D-E-M-I-N-Z, Deming. He's also known as the quality guru, management guru. He says that there is management disease. There is management disease, and the disease is failing to work in a team. Failing to work in a team is a management disease. And if you cannot, cure this disease, the performance of the company will decline. So it's very important. Personal communication is also very important. And personal communication increases productivity. Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, the communication between the stakeholders or the suppliers, it will be internal or it will be external
This
communication?
is external communication. Outside of the stakeholder, there are a lot of stakeholders. A stakeholder, do you mean stockholder or stakeholder?
The stakeholder.
Stakeholder, the difference, maybe the difference between stockholder and stakeholder is that stockholder is the owner of the company. Stockholder is the owner of the company, and stakeholder means all the parties related with the business. All the parties. So internal parties are related with the business. Employees of the company is also stakeholder. It is internal operation. When supplier you're talking about, so when you are communicating with the supplier, this is external operational communication, because he is not the employee of the organization, he is not the owner of the organization. When you are communicating with the owner of the company, it is internal communication. But prospective investors, then it is external operational issue. Is it clear? Is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, although not an obvious part of the business plan of the operation, personal communication can have a significant effect on success of the business. This is true. Because if you have not the option to discuss anything with your colleague, if you do not have any option to discuss with your friend, your family members, your personally you will be disastrous. So there is a effect. The employees' attitudes toward the business, each other, and their assignments directly affect the productivity of the company, and the nature of conversation in work situation affects attitudes. That was I'm talking. If you are suited with it, your colleague who was shabby, he will also start dressing up well. Affects attitudes. If you say good evening, he will also start saying good evening. So your attitudes affect the attitudes of the employee. So in your corporate world, you must be very, professional. Professional means you must be very, must not be casual. That is known as professional. Professionalism is very important, and following the corporate culture that is ultimately improves the productivity of the company. In a work situation where heated words and flaming tempers are often present, the employees are very much not likely to give their best efforts to their jobs. Don't you believe? If I review every time, if I say that why are you asking so many questions in the classroom, what will happen? The students will be feared to ask any clarification. This is true for the organizational setup. If the boss is very much heated, a boss is very tempered, the employees cannot give their best efforts to their jobs. This is true. So be very careful to use these words. Likewise, a rollicking jovial work situation can undermine business goals. At the same time, you are very rainless. You don't care anything. What happens if you are sleeping? No matter. So you can take rest. It doesn't matter in the classroom. Can you take rest? Few minutes. Can you sleep? So jovial and also rollicking behavior, editors in the workplace also fail. Also undermine business goals, and this type of organization also do not succeed. So personal communication is important, but this should be in a corporate manner. Corporate manner means within the rules and regulations. Personal communication elements can enhance external and internal business communication. That can enhance the internal and external business communication. It means that if you have good relations, if you are writing a letter to somebody else outside the organization, external operational communication, you can talk to each other that whether I'm writing in the proper format or not, whether I'm using the words properly or not. So this type of help you can get from your, fellow colleagues. Sorry, Paul Barbaras. Right.
Sir, I think you have muted
Sir.
yourself.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Thanks. So, communication networks, personal communication, grapevine. Maybe I'm missing. Am I missing? Oh yes, personal. This is also personal communication. I'm coming. So communication networks, informal and formal. You get the point. What is informal and what is formal? Board of directors. Can you remember the slide? This one. Board of directors will instruct managing director will instruct the other managers will instruct their subordinates. They will communicate. This is if the technical support service requires anything to discuss with the managing director, he cannot go directly to the managing director. The technical support manager will inform to the project design and development. Project design and development will go to the managing director. This is known as the formal channel. This is known as the formal channel. And what is informal channel? Informal channel, technical support manager can directly go to the managing director. In today's world, due to the application of technology, the organogram has flattened. Now the managing director can discuss with the MIS department anytime because of technological innovations, mobile phone, cell phone, internet, etc. There are a lot of mediums to communicate directly with the MIS department. Managing director can. MIS department can also have access to the managing director. This is the informal network. This is the informal network. So formal network and informal network in the communication is there in simplified form. Informal form, modern business is much like the network of arteries and veins in the body. This is true. Just as the body has blood vessels, the business has major well-established channels of information exchange. These are the formal channels. The main lines of operational communication, the flow includes the upward formal network, lateral, downward movement of information in the form of reports, memos, emails, answers within the organization. So this may be the different forms of formal network. The channeling of company information outward to its various publics in the forms of external operational communication. Maybe. Say, for example, in public universities, we cannot send any information. Although I'm the dean of the university, I cannot send any information to the ministry. Why? Because there is a formal channel. Only the register of the university can send the information to the ministry. So if I want to send any information, I'm talking about the personal issue. If I want to send any information to the Ministry of Education, what I have to do, I have to write the register of the university that please send this information to the Ministry of Education. So he or she will send the information to the Ministry of Education. This is the formal network, external operational communication. We cannot send the outward information or to its various publics in forms of external operational communication. Informal network consisting largely of personal communications is highly complex and ever-changing. Yes, informal network. Managing director is talking to the MIS department. Managing director is talking to the HR manager. These are the informal network. These are the informal network, and this type of network is very much popular in today's world because of the technological, applications and innovations. Mobile phone, anytime I can call. You can call me anytime. But in our time, it was impossible to call my teacher. I have to go to him, go to his room, and I have to take the appointment, and then I can talk to him. So the network was formal because there was no technology. But in your age, technology is available. You can send email, you can send WhatsApp messages, mobile messages, mobile call. There are a lot of options are available. That's why the informal network has grown multifold. And this is the organogram of the informal network, formal and informal. Can you identify which one is formal and which one is informal? Who can identify? So the straight line is the formal channel. Divisional manager will control the department managers, and department managers will control a straight line, control the other employees of the department. And this department manager cannot control the other department's employees. Only this department can control the employees of this department. So when this department is talking with the other department's employees, this is informal channel. So formal and informal, this is not very difficult issue, and I hope that you got the idea of what is formal and informal channel. And informal network, one of the outcomes of informal network is known as a grapevine. Grapevine. Maybe you know what is grapevine, because in English course, some of our students previous classes said that these are discussed there in the business English course. What is informal network? What is grapevine? Grapevine means an unofficial channel of communication that is neither authorized nor supported by the organization. The grapevine motto is that good information passes among people fairly rapidly and bad information even faster. Skillful managers recognize the presence of the grapevine, and they know that the powerful people in this network are often not those at the top of the formal organizational hierarchy. They find out who the top leaders, or known as cheerleaders, are, and give them the information that will do the most good for the organization. They also make management decisions that will cultivate positive talks. Managers cannot control this network. Managers cannot control this network, but they can influence it. So what is grapevine? Grapevine is that some information are coming from any sources, and the source, what is the source of this information, cannot be identified. It is known as grapevine. Say for an example, in a company, and maybe as you are not the working people, your father, your mother knows this better. When I was a banker, I heard that 10% salary has increased. 10% salary has increased. So I was very happy hearing the news. 10% salary increase. The information has good information passes among people fairly rapidly. Bad information passes even faster. 10% salary increase. When I heard the news, I called to my bestmates. Yes, 10% salary has increased. My bestmate has spread the news everywhere. All the employees of the company knows the news in just 1 hour. 10% salary has increased, but the information who spread the information is unidentified. That means it is a grapevine. Is grapevine. Then the source of the news is unidentified and spread over the organization very rapidly. This is the grapevine. But
Sir, is it true, according to a business strategy, some companies run this sort of information and spreads among the employees to see which they passes away two informations. One, you said the good news type of, another is a gossip type of, so they can check which message spreads faster, just to check the communication skills and correlations among the employees.
Okay, good.
Do you think
So
that
the
is
managers
something
like
that
you,
happened?
the managers like you, cannot control or try to control the network. This type of grapevine, they do not want to control. Rather, they can influence it. If you want to know what is the impact of good communication, or how the communication passes, if you want to do any type of research, or if you want to do anything positively for the organization, you can influence it. But stopping it is very impossible. Stopping it very impossible. Sometimes bad news, sometimes false news, sometimes base news are spreading in the organization. The news is not correct. News is not correct. This is known as grapevine. And many managers try to influence it. They do not try to control it. They do not try to stop it. They maybe some information is very important to know everybody, then based without any source, they're spreading the news in the channel. And like you, the information is passing, the information message is going to everybody very faster way. So when the information that is, you know, how can I say, not coming from the formal channel, coming from the informal channel, and what is the origin of the message is not known, is known as the grapevine. Grapevine is usually sometimes baseless, not beneficial for the company, but good managers want to try to control or influence the network to spread the good news in the organization for the betterment of the company. That is the system of managing grapevine. So it is also informal network. You cannot stop it. Informal network, it is known as grapevine. An amount of business communication is clear. What is grapevine?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it
Yes.
amount of business communication? This is very easy you know, question. So for example, amount of communication, when the lecturers are lecturing, the amount of communication will be much more than the students. You are asking question, but not significantly, not more than me. So when the setup, when the context is educational institute and the communication is being done between student and teacher, the amount of communication will be huge from the teacher's part. So amount of communication in a public limited company will be much higher than OPC, one-person company, isn't it? Amount of business communication is sole proprietorship will be less than amount of communication there in the partnership. So to understand the amount of business communication, you need to understand the different type of business. To understand the amount of business communication, you need to know the personal relationship. If you have very good personal relationship, you will share many information. But if you do not have very good personal relationship, you will not share everything. Low context and high context society we will also discuss. So amount of business communication depends on just how much and what kind of communicating a business does, depends on several factors. Say for nature of business, insurance companies use a huge amount of information, and house cleaning companies use very few amount of communication because their job is to clean the floor without talking. Its operational plan, repair service and automobile service. If it is repair service, operation is repair service, then the amount of communication will be used than automobile makers, because automobile makers are making automobiles using, you know, automation or robotic system. I have visited Japanese Toyota company, and I found that 90% of their job is robotic. The automobiles, Toyota automobiles, 90% of their job is robotics. So amount of communication is very few. And environment, whether the environment is stable or volatile environment. Say for example, in today's world, the environment in Bangladesh, political environment is volatile environment, and the amount of communication will be much higher than the stable political environment. There are a lot of people are talking about the politics, but if the political situation is stable, then maybe few people will talk about the issue. Few people will write letter. Right this moment, many letters are coming to Bangladesh from different countries. European Union is writing, HRWC, that means Human Rights Watch, is writing letter. WTO is writing letter, United States is writing letter to us. But if the political environment is stable, the number of communications will be less than volatile environment. So geographical dispersion, one stop versus different multiple locations. The communications in multiple locations will be more. And people involved, human is unique and complex. If there is a lot of people, the communication will be a lot, the less amount. So it is about the idea of the amount of communication, how many letters you have to write, how many emails you have to reply, how many emails you will receive. This is ultimately amount of communication. This amount of communication is higher in higher organization, big organizations. Then context of business organization, there are three different contexts of business organization. Number one is organizational context. Number two is professional context. Number three is personal context. This context is explained here. The larger context, economic environment, socio-cultural environment, historical environment will affect the communication process. It is the business communication process. Business communication process has three different components. One is sender, another is medium, another is receiver. Sender sends the information, initial message, and the receiver receiving the information and responding the message. There are almost 10 steps in the total communication process. Number one is senses a communication need. Do I need to talk here? Do I not need to talk here, or I will take tea here in the classroom? What should I do? I need to talk. Otherwise, only taking tea will not be effective, will not understand anything. Just it will take time and passing the time. So, sensing a communication need, there is a need to communicate the lecture to you. So, communication begins when you have a need. Without need, there is no communication. Then I define the problem. What is the problem? Why I will talk to you? So problem is that I know you do not know. That is the problem. So I will try to solve the problem. And searches for possible solutions. What is the solution? Solution is that I will deliver the lecture and you will listen. Number one. Number two, that I am recording the lecture. You will also get the lecture later. Solution, possible solutions. And select a course of action. Which one is better? I'll talk. Oh, sorry. I'll talk or write message, or what will be the course of action? And I am talking to you. Verbal communication. Verbal. So I'll select a course of action. This may be message, maybe contents, maybe style, different. There are a lot of issues may consider. Peace. I will. Am I talking too loud or too? Yeah. Then compose the message. Then what you will do, you'll now compose. Composing message means if you choose different format other than oral, then you have to compose the message, writing the message and sending the message to deliver the message. Deliver the message here, the composing the message is not necessary for you, but the moment the slide will act as the composing the message. I already composed the message and I am showing the slides. Delivering the message. I'm delivering the message over internet connectivity, Zoom platform network. And then, so you are, after delivering the message, I am delivering the message to you. Now your part, receiver, you are the receiver. Receives the message, you are receiving the message, you are interpreting the message, what you are doing, you are interpreting the message. Interpreting the message, that are you understanding? If you are not understanding, then decide on a response. If you do not understand, then you are responding. And may send a responding message. If you think that you need to send the message, then the process will begin. So again, the number one will begin. Senses a communication need, whether you need to reply. So communication is a continuous process if there is a need. Otherwise, this may end here. If there is no response, that means the communication is effective. You have got everything what I am discussing. One round. And if you do not understand, then again, senses are communication need. This is about the communication process, different contexts, and these are also the repetition of the the communicator. One is the sender, communicator two is the receiver, and there are the 10 steps that we have already explained here. One, senses, and 10 is may send a responding message. This have been summarized again here. This slide was not important. So what are the notes you have to take while you are making communication? The notes are each act of business communication is designed to achieve a particular goals. Consideration 7C. Can you remember? Number one, 7C component of 7C was consideration.
Consideration.
Consideration is on goals, what you are going to do. So you must take notes that what is your goal, why you are communicating. Both parties in a communication event influence the outcome of that event. So when you are going to sell a shirt, so you are trying to have more price. When the other party is also trying to reduce the price, that means influencing the outcome. Both parties influence. While the message creation process tends to be linear, it can also be recursive. Linear means that I am delivering lecture and you are satisfied with the lecture. And recursive means that you are not getting the point, so you are again replying. Recurring or recursive, involving a return to earlier step. That means out of the 10 steps, 10 steps the business communication process, and you are beginning from one again when you are not understanding anything. So taking an analytical approach to each communication session will give you the best chance for success. Yes, if you analyze the issues, if you do not understand, then you will analyze it. Why I'm not understanding, then whether I'll ask the question or whether it is better to review the lecture after finishing the lecture. So you can think of, so you will analyze it. Analytical approach will help you to understand, achieve the objective better, and chance for success is more than analyzing without analyzing. So this is the issue you must take care of. Now we come to the point of problem solving. We are almost into our lecture. We are going to discuss about the problem solving aspect. Problem, yes, if there is problem, then there is a need for communication to solve the problem. So problem solving is defined as simply a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Within this framework, a problem isn't always something negative. Yes, the problem is not always negative. There are some positive impacts of problem. It can also be an opportunity to improve a situation or do things in a better way. As a goal-focused enterprise, business is all about solving problems. And so therefore, business communication is there. Business communication is there to solve problems. There may have some conflicts in the organization. To resolve these conflicts, you need to better communication skills. There are well-defined and ill-defined problems. Most business communication situations can be categorized as ill-defined problems. If it is ill-defined problems, then you have to analyze it, apply creativity and judgment to solve the problem. So problem solving aspect will be more clear that there are, you find here that there are different outcomes of business communications. What are the outcomes of negotiations? This is problem solving means negotiation. What are the outcomes of negotiation? The outcomes may include win-loss, loss-win, loss-loss, win-win, win-win-win, loss-loss-loss. What are these?
These are the possible outcomes that comes between a
Conflicting
negotiation party. Yeah.
So win-win, win-loss means you win, I win, you loss. Loss-win means you loss, I loss, you win. And loss-loss means both parties loss. Win-win means both parties win.
Come
And
to a middle point.
Sorry?
Both parties came to a middle point where both of them can win.
Right. And win-win. Win-win means what? Is
Both party win.
win-win means, does win-win mean 50-50 share?
No,
What does it mean?
Sir,
it means both parties came to a middle point where both can enjoy their
Middle,
profits
not
from
the middle
both
point.
sides.
Win-win means that you are satisfied and I am satisfied.
The other party is satisfied, yes.
Satisfaction is matter. Maybe I'm talking a lot today. After talking a lot, I'm satisfied if you understand the lecture. So this is win-win negotiation, win-win outcome of the communication. And maybe in conflicting situation, you two friends are in problematic situation. So if you both satisfied with the solution, it is win-win. And what is win, win and win? Triple win, a triple lose. Win, win and win, triple win. Maybe sometimes in conflicting situations, two parties cannot solve the problem. They need the arbitration or third party. Third party. The arbitrator is the third party. He helps to resolve the conflict between you and me. And if you and me are satisfied and solve the problem, then the arbitrator is also satisfied. It is known as the win-win and win negotiation. This is ultimately the target in business communication. Win, win, and win. And lose-lose means arbitrator is also unhappy when you fail to negotiate any matter. That is lose, lose, and lose. So win, win, win is the target of business communication. Both the three parties, if they are, will be the satisfied parties. Satisfied parties, and in negotiation usually we use different terms, and maybe this is different strategies to negotiate. Negotiation strategies. There are 5 different options of negotiation. Number 1 is forcing, number 2 avoiding, number 3 accommodating, number 4 compromising, and number 5 is collaborating. And these 5 components are defined. These 5 components are defined based on concern for own needs, concern for other needs. So you and I am in conflicting situation. So if you are concerned for me and I am concerned for you, the outcomes may one of the 5. Avoiding. So if concern for the other party is very low and concern for own needs is also low, so you are avoiding, you are not going to solve the problem. Accommodating, when you are very much concerned for the other party, concerned for the needs of the other party, then you are accommodating. Collaborating, when your concern for the other is very high and concern for the own needs is also very high, it is known as collaboration. And compromising, needs for others and needs for me are both equal, it is known as compromising. And forcing means that you are concerned for the own needs only. Political parties, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Fakhrul Islam, both are forcing. Both parties are concerned for their own needs. There is forcing in negotiation. So for more details about the outcomes and also different strategies, you can follow this link. And PON, a program on negotiation, Harvard University, they have explained what is win-win, win-loss, and different strategies in negotiation are there. In communication, this is very important. And when you will sit in, communication, then you have to consider these different definitions. Problem solving, communication, or negotiation. There are several terms used in problem solving or negotiation. These concepts are important to communicate in negotiation stage. Position means, say for an example, you and me are negotiating to buy and sell a shirt. I am the seller, wanna sell the shirt, and you are the buyer, wanna buy the shirt. In that case, position means negotiators opening offer. Negotiators opening offer. That means if I say that the price of the shirt is $100 or 100 taka, it is the position, negotiator's position, opening offer. So you will also create your position. You will say that I can give you $80. So what is your position? Your position is $80 and my position is $100. All right. Position. This is a position in communication or position in negotiation. And then interest. Interest means the unspoken motivation or reason that underlies any given position. Interest means why I am demanding $100. There's some underlying reason. Maybe I am thinking that the shirt I am going to sell to you is very innovative. The features of the shirt is that air conditioning system is installed here. Heartbeat monitoring system is there in the bottom. So the product is very innovative. That's why the price of the product is higher than the usual shirts. So this is interest, your interest, unspoken motivation. Unspoken motivation means that you are not talking or telling about the factor, but because of this factor, you are asking for $100. This is known as interest in negotiation. Negotiation. At the same time, when your position is $80, your position, are you with me?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
with me?
Yes, sir.
So interest is clear. Interest. What is the interest? Your interest. Your interest is that you have the option to deal with the other manufacturers. That's why you are saying that your position is $80. So the reason behind your position is known as interest. Is clear what is interest? Mr. Fuad? Mr. Fuad, are you here? Is interest clear?
Yes, sir.
And the needs. Needs means the negotiated outcomes that negotiator must have in order to reach a successful agreement. So my position was $100, but I must need to sell it at $90 because the manufacturing cost is $78. So I need $2 profit. So needs means must have in negotiation. Needs mean must have in negotiation. Must have in negotiation means needs. You must need $80. There is needs and wants means would like to have. Would like to have, yes, you must need $80, but 85 is better. It is known as wants in negotiation, but once in economics is different. We are not talking about the economics. Once here in negotiation, in business communication means would like to have. $80 is the needs, and once is 85 is better because the product is innovative and I would like to have $85. It is known as wants in negotiation and best alternative to a negotiated agreement, bottom line or reservation point of both the parties. Best alternative. Best, what is the best alternative? Best alternative is 80 or 78 is the manufacturing. So 80 is the bottom line and you cannot go beyond 80. So beta means best alternative to a negotiated agreement. What is the best between the agreement? It is known as the best alternative. Best alternative to you, for me, it is 80, like needs, or 80, 82. But for you, maybe it is 70 because you need to check the other manufacturers. And JOPA means zone of possible agreement. Zone of possible agreement means that your asking price was 70 and my asking price was 80. So the agreement will be in between 70 and 80. This is known as the zone of possible agreement. Zone of possible agreement. So these concepts are applied here. It is the buyer's position, it is the seller's position, and interest are related with position. Interest is related with position, and needs, preference means needs. Your preference is needs, and your preference means wants. This is wants, and needs, this point is needs, and your needs is here, and the possible agreement is in between two needs. It is known as zone of possible agreement, and this is known as the your best alternative, his best alternative to a negotiated agreement, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. These are the concepts we use in business communication. So after going back home today we are gonna finish the lecture. Going back home, what you will do, you will solve this problem. You will discuss about this is your assignment number 1. This is number 1 assignment, and you will submit. I will prepare a link. And you will submit it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Saturday. I'll give you the assignment in the Canvas. This is all for you for today.
I'm so sorry. So submission copy, sir.
Submission on Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday, I'll give the deadlines. You will solve the issue, and then you will submit it there in the Canvas PDF format. All right.
So is there any word limit?
Is there any
Word limit?
guideline?
The word limit.
Oh, no, there is no word limit. Maybe you will write around 5 pages to solve the issues.
5
Okay.
pages. It is the minimum.
And there is no minimum system. You'll write around 5 pages. 5 pages, that's enough. And this is not the final assignment. You have to submit a lot of assignments.
স্যার
One of
কত
them.
মার্কসের জন্য?
Total marks per assignment is 5. Total marks is 5. So maybe around 5 assignment you have to submit.
স্যার খাতায় না লিখে কি আমরা ওয়ার্ডে লিখতে পারি?
Yes, you can.
ওকে,
You can type. You can take help from the website. There is no problem, but try not to copy anything.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you. We could continue, but it is Maghrib prayer time, and the Maghrib prayer time is very short. That's why we need to stop the lecture at this moment. And thank you for joining today. I
Sir,
hope to see you physically on coming Saturday. Yes, sir.
sir, I needed to share something very important to you personally.
Personally.
Yes, sir.
So maybe after half an hour.
Okay, sure, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for today. Bye bye.
Sir,
স্যার can I visit you at the office hour in Saturday
Saturday after the class. Okay.
after the class? Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
sir, I missed my attendance today. I was talking, but my mic was not working. So I texted here, but I think you didn't see or miss that.
Oh, I see. So your name is Najia.
Ji, sir.
So we can leave, right, sir?
And sorry.
Sir, we can leave the class, right,
Yes,
sir?
you can leave. Those who need attendance, please wait here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Allah Hafiz, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Sir, can you please check my attendance as well?
Okay, please wait now. If you require it, then please wait. Have a stop recording. Oh, yes.